Hello, my beautiful friends. How are you today? Welcome. It is January 16th, 2023. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. Today is more of a personal growth episode. I'm going to share with you some of the discoveries I had over the last week, and how it's a game changer for me. And I know it's going to be a game changer for you. So if this is your first time stumbling across this post or this podcast, welcome. It's Sonia here with Fresh Approach Fitness, a wellness company working on a brand change to Fresh Approach Wellness. Because as you all know, for the last 15 years, I've been helping people in one way or another keeping the promises they make to themselves, whether that's weight loss, whether that's more energy, whether that is balancing their personal and their professional life, whether it's their relationship with money or their mindset. Meals, movement, mindset, and their relationship with money. This is where I play a role. And I've been your accountability coach for years now, and 135 episodes later, here we are, my friends. So thank you. Before we go too far, I just want to say, go ahead and Google Ask Sonia. So hashtag ASKSONYA. And from there, you'll be able to get your hands on a lot of the information we talk about. And eventually, you'll be able to wind your way through the show notes and get yourself there. So if there's any way I can support you on today's episode, just reach out, hashtag episode 135, hashtag Ask Sonia. I will get it. You know, I'm doing giveaways, and you never know what you're going to get. You might get one of my quarterly planners. You might get a product I've aligned myself with. You might get a book that I co-wrote with some amazing entrepreneurs. You might get a free course for Your Story Matters, which is a 30-day self-awareness, self-love, self-awareness workbook that I've created into a course. I give away a lot, and we do this in such a fun manner. So all you have to do is hashtag episode 135, hashtag Ask Sonia, and that's going to get your name in the draw, especially if you put some kind of referral or recommendation or favorite piece about this episode. Any other episode that you've listened to, do the same thing. Just put the episode number, and you will be entered to win prizes, whatever prizes are being drawn for it this week. So, my friends, all of me, that's what this episode's called, and it's dedicated to all of you going through a transition, or having recently gone through a transition, or maybe you're in your business and you're spinning your wheels a little bit, or you feel like you're spinning your wheels. Maybe you're working a job that just isn't feeling 100% aligned with, but yet you've got so much to be grateful for. You have so much at your fingertips, but that's not matching your inner feeling. And you feel bad about that. Like you feel ungrateful, and yet you know you are hands over fist grateful. You are saying thank yous and gratitudes wherever you turn. You are 100% grateful, but your vibration is not matching. Think about that for a second. Where is your vibration right now? And if you want a good visual, Google Law of Attraction. I'm just going to do it while we're talking here. It's a Law of Attraction emotional scale is what you're looking for. And there's going to be a whole bunch of variances that show up. Pick whatever resonates with you and identify where you are feeling on the 22 most common emotions. Now, I normally do this with my clients, and we do a nice check-in, and we understand where we're at in terms of a starting point. So be honest with yourself. Are you sitting in a downward spiral of life for some reason, vibrationally? Or are you feeling the joy within? Or more often than not right now, are you maybe in the green area, which is frustration for one reason or another? So we all know by now that like attracts like. And you're going to want more of the same subconsciously. So you're going to really have to work consciously on making decisions to increase your vibration because otherwise you're going to attract more of the same. So what are some of the things that we can do to attract and to change that vibrational stage? Well, glad you asked. Couple things. So this is all about a feeling. If you look at these 22 words, they all represent a feeling. And when we feel a certain way, we are going to attract more of that feeling. So the best way to change our course is to participate a little bit more in things that bring us joy. So the first thing we need to do is identify where we're at. Then we need to come up with a list of items that bring us joy. But before we can step into that space of what brings us joy, I need to sidebar for a second and share a story with you. Because accepting where you are right now is the biggest piece to this. So before we go too far, I want to share with you why this is the biggest piece. You see, we talked about feelings and like attracts like and the law of attraction, and now I'm showing you a visual how to put this all together. So if you're feeling frustrated, you're going to attract more frustration. If you're feeling happy, you're going to attract more joy. Without making any changes to your day-to-day, you first of all need to understand that it is okay to feel these feelings. Because right now, you are probably adding more pressure to yourself than need be. Last week, I was talking with a coach of mine, and I say a coach because I'm always getting influences from different ideas, but I've been working with her for years, and she's amazing. Be more than happy to bring her on as a guest one day, and we could pick our brains together. Her name's Laura. She is amazing. Anyways, I had learned a few things by speaking with Laura, and one of the first things I had admitted to her was not only justifying all of the work I was doing across the board and feeling what I was feeling across the board, but I also shared that I was judging myself for it. I'm like, this isn't me. I don't feel this way. I don't feel frustrated. I only feel happy. And I had said it 3 times. She brought it to my attention. How amazing is it to be able to understand that I am exactly where I need to be without judgment? That I need to learn other things right now in this stage before I can attract more. This is an opportunity for me. No matter what stage I fell in, no matter what stage you're at, this is an opportunity for you. And I want to remind you that because we're going to go a little bit deeper before we come back. I just want to write down law of attraction. I want to make sure that when I do my show notes, I do include this part on here because this is so fitting. I'm really impromptu today about all of me and really being open and honest and keeping it real for you. You see, I realized last week that I was waiting for the other shoe to drop in my life. Things right now are good. Things right now would be like, life would be like at a dull roar. There's a few moments of excitement, but things right now are kind of simmering nicely in the day-to-day where I can learn to find my joy. Everything is simmering nicely. Everything is going well. I am waiting for the other shoe to drop somewhere in my life. Why? Think about that. Are you looking for the shoe to drop in your life as well? In your personal life, in your professional life, in your relationships, with your husband or your partner, with your kids, with your job, with your friends? Is everything smooth sailing? Are you subconsciously waiting that next battle? Financial battle, scale battle, emotional battle like a variance that you can't control. Are you waiting for that to happen? Are you waiting for shit to hit the fan again? Or that shoe to drop? I was. Didn't even realize it. I'd been sitting in that space for over 6 weeks. Did not even realize it. If it drops, it drops. But the more I think about it, the more it's going to happen. Why am I judging myself? Because this is a new feeling? But guess what? It's okay for me to be safe. Just because I haven't experienced it as a constant in my life, it is okay for me to be safe. And I've turned this into an affirmation. It is safe having it all, and I am brave enough to desire more. I will include that in the show notes, but I'm going to say it again, okay? It is safe having it all. I am brave enough to desire more. I appreciate every single thing I have in my life right now. Why am I adding judgment to myself for not being enough? What is enough? Will there ever be enough? Is there a plateau I am trying to reach, or is this going to be an imaginary, constant growth till infinity? Always chasing after something but not having a clue what that is. You tell me. It was an eye-opener for me last week. I realized, yeah, there is a few things I'm chasing, but ultimately, there is an end point where I will stop chasing. I want these goals that I'm working on right now to come to fruition. And there's some business goals there. There's some personal goals there. So personal and professional, as you should be doing as well. I have a really good mantra for that too. I'm going to share that. Okay. So get yourself a piece of paper, take a minute, pause this, and write down all of the things you want to happen. Okay. So pause this, write it all down. Give yourself 5 to 10 things randomly that you want to have happen. All right, welcome back. So now I'm going to read to you what I say before I say the other part. Okay? So all of my wishes come true. I give thanks that everything I dream of and more is now a reality. I am ready to feel warm gratitude, bubbling excitement, and deep faith throughout my mind and body. I nurture all of my dreams, knowing that by doing so, I am tending to the garden of my wishes. My wishes include, and this is where you grab that piece of paper that you just wrote a few things down. My wishes include being paid to do more public speaking gigs, having more nights out, more dancing, and more opportunities to meet new people. A 3-month wait list for my business. The opportunity to travel more, have holidays, vacations, and explore more life. Personal alone time. Space in my calendar. Time for my family and friends. And my business generating $10,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue by March 31st, 2023. I actually want to change that one. I don't know if I want it to be my business generating. I am generating. So I don't care all of the sources of income that I use to get this. I am generating. Period. $10,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue by March 31st, 2023. How about you? Use my list if you don't have a list. That's okay. Use whatever it takes to inspire you. But when I think of the feeling that I'm feeling right now, and I think of the things on my list that I've already started to check off because of what I already have in my life right now, amazing, isn't it? I should be feeling happier than I was. And yet I was beating myself up by telling my coach, well, this isn't me. That I am this person right now, but this isn't who I am. I was in denial. Guys, I was in denial of the fact that I was having real and raw emotions. And I was admitting them with guilt like I was a failure for having them. Put your hands up, nod your head if you get this. You see, we're much harder on ourselves than we need to be. And all of me includes my good days and my bad days. All of me, regardless on how I show up on social media, all of me is allowed to be tired, is allowed to rest, is allowed to say no. All of me is allowed to be overwhelmed some days. Because some days it isn't easy juggling all of the things. Plus your emotions when you're missing the sunshine like crazy. But you know what? You've got these goals that you're working on. And the feeling of not being where you want to be on that emotional scale is something you can change. But you can't change it until you're aware of it. When you're aware of it and you realize that's not me, because you don't want to own it. But as soon as you own it, you can accept it. When you accept it, you release all of the feelings that are associated to it. This is part of you. It might be one day a month, 12 days out of 365 years, you might be sitting in worry. Okay, that's a part of who you are. Maybe it happens at the same time every month for the same reason. Maybe it happens same time every year. No judgment necessary, because this is all of you. This is like your rainy day, that when the sun comes out, when you are feeling those feelings of blue and purple and the upward spiral, you can tell I'm using one with the color here in front of me. It's powerful. So how do you change those feelings and emotions? I'm going to tell you what won't work. Blaming your partner. Blaming your job. Blaming your social circle. Blaming the environment. None of those things will work. I promise you that. See, in order to change the joy within, you need to tap in and change those feelings. You need to practice matching the gratitude with the way you're feeling. And in order to change the way you're feeling, not only do you need to accept where you're at right now and understand that you have a pattern and this is a part of you, and it's okay to grow into this. Because once you've accepted it, you're no longer carrying the weight of all of those unnecessary feelings that were dragging you down. Yeah. When I say step into gratitude, next time you're eating key lime pie, taste all of the different tastes that are in it. The texture, are you eating it as it's almost frozen or as it's thawed? Like, break it down and be grateful that you can identify all of those pieces. Are you grateful for the fact that you get a shower every single day? Find things in your life every day by writing down that you're grateful for, no matter what it is. That's going to help you change your vibration. Use your senses. Ears, nose, eyes, smell. I said that. So use all of your taste. Use all of your senses. Put a sense in your essential oils. Light some candles. Get outside. My favorite tip is to have a shower, but listen, play music. Music elevates your soul. Find some music. That is going to help you move your vibration. Okay, go for a walk, move your body. It can be a short one, it can be a long one, it doesn't really matter. You see, once you start realizing it's up to you, and that this is a part of you, and you don't need to be judging yourself for it, everything's going to change. It was a big eye-opener for me. There was another piece that was an eye-opener for me. So not only are we talking about the law of attraction right now and changing the feeling and changing the vibration, but accepting all of that and how to start with it and being more into gratitude and honestly taking it day by day and moment by moment. You see, there's a art here that we're not familiar with. For some of us, we're being introduced to it for the first time in our lives, and we really don't know what to do. And it's called slowing down, right? When things aren't going our way, what do? We push for more. If we're in corporate Canada or corporate America and we're working for a company and we're in sales or we're doing calls and we're not getting our numbers, what are we told to do? Push for more. Ask more people. It's a numbers game. That's divine masculine energy. You do want to be in that space, but once you've done enough, let it go. Grab a book. Put your feet up. Play on social media. Work on social media, but change your venue. Go to a coffee shop. Go to the couch. Turn on the fireplace. I was sharing with Laura last week. This should be called my conversation with a therapist. But I was sharing with her last week how if this was summer and I was feeling bummed out or frustrated, or my vibration, I was vibrating too low and I couldn't understand my why, because I still like to learn those things, even though it's not really relevant. We're going to experience all of these different feelings for a reason, so we know what it is we like and don't like. So we were talking about, when you're feeling a lower vibration, I'm like, well, in the summer, I would easily hop in the pool and grab my book and float and read, or I'd be on my phone and I would update information. I said, but yet I don't think of doing that in the fall or in the winter and going to the couch or going outside and doing the same thing. I don't. It does not cross my mind. Why is that? Interesting, right? Makes me think about it. You see, we're all working towards at least one goal. And that goal has some sort of component of elevated finances, balanced energy, and achieving time freedom. Right? Would you agree? Whether it's retirement, whether it's vacation, those landmarks would typically fall within these three goal objectives: achieving time freedom, balanced energy, and elevated finances. So really the only thing you're worried about is just having joy in your day. So we're all working towards that in some way, shape, or form. We know that it looks different for everybody in some way, shape, or form. But what does it feel like to walk through that day, living that life already? What does she wear? How does she do her hair? Does she have all of the time in the day to journal? Does she have other obligations? What makes her happy? Having all of the time in the world, no worries about money, and she's on her own schedule. What does she do? I was thinking about that this weekend, and that is the state of being, and that is the state we are aspiring to at some point in our lives. But what are we going to do with that space? What are we going to do at that time? I realized yesterday, Tony and I celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and we took it as a slow day. And we actually, our favorite, it's not our favorite, the restaurant where we met, where we reincarnate our anniversary every year, we had a bad experience there the other night. So we decided not to go back for anniversary. We went to a different restaurant instead. But we actually went to Port Stanley, which is one of my favorite beaches in the world. And I know I haven't been to all of them, but where I've been, Port Stanley is one of my favorites. And I think it's because of my childhood connection. And you guys hear me talk about Port Stanley quite a bit. And we walked by the water. We walked along the pier. We walked on the beach. We had Mackey's. We looked at some houses and some beachfront properties. And we talked, and we were hand in hand and looking at nature. And in some areas there was ice. And some people were playing with their dogs. And it was magical. I decided yesterday I want that in my life every day. Does it have to be the beach? No. Does it have to be Tony and I together? No. But a walk like that makes me feel so good and in the moment? Yeah. I can have that now. I do have that now. I take my lunches to do that. That is one more thing that I am already doing that my future self wants. Because that's one thing I would definitely fill my time with, is going for a daily walk. But outside of that, what else would I do? And this is a good question to think about, because you want to be sitting in the space where you're picking up this information so you can start to apply it to your life now. Are you volunteering? Where are you volunteering? All of these things to think about. And as you're starting to think about them, you're going to be attracting more and more of what's connecting to you. And then you might follow suit and try one of those activities. Check out how you feel when you try them out. Right? Go back to that chart. How do you feel? Does it make you happy? Do you look forward to it, or does it bring you down? Because you want to be focusing on the activities that continue giving you a high vibration. Do you like concerts? Do you like music? I know we both love concerts and music, and I'm going to be booking us into more of them this year. But keeps our vibration super, super high. So, yeah. All of me includes going upwards and downwards on this emotional scale. I also broke my bike last week. I fell in love with a spinning class, and it's called Spin Junkie on YouTube. You're going to want to Google her. She's awesome, or YouTube or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I love this, but I was just using an exercise bike as a spin bike, and yeah, you can't do that. So now it's out of commission. I'm going to have to get myself a new one somehow, but, or when the timing is right, making sure it'll fit in here. So here's the thing, guys. I loved the vibration. I loved the feeling of that workout. It was fun. I want to do it again. I did Pilates this morning and I didn't feel the same. Yes, I feel tight. My body feels taut and tight right now. Feels amazing. But I love the way I felt doing that spinning class. So maybe today I have to go for a run to feel that energy again, right? It kept my vibration super, super high. That's what I want. So all of me includes understanding what it feels like in these different lower vibrational levels. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to identify your pattern. You want to see where it gets you. Then you want to tell yourself a new story. Another lesson I learned. Okay, so part of your story right now is you are waiting for that shoe to drop. Yes, we talked about that. But we're also learning that we can change things and that we can do things differently. And with that comes new language. With that comes a new mindset. So the final lesson I learned last week on my coaching session is that I am an and/or thinker. So if something is happening, then that's the case. I'm an and/or thinker. So, what's a good example? I guess in my mind's eye, I can't have a thriving business, or people only have either a thriving business or they work for somebody else. So they have this or that. So it's this or that. It's not a both. I don't sit there and think of, well, no, there are some amazing people that can have a thriving career and an outstanding business, because that's the type of person that they are. This scenario can exist in both cases. So there are many variables. Can you be happy and overweight? Can you be happy and financially in debt? Or is that an this or that situation? Think about it. If you look at your bank account and you don't like the way it feels, you don't like the way you feel when you look at it, is what I'm trying to say. Is that going to change your vibration? Are you going to start judging yourself? Or are you going to stop to remember that you put food over your roof? Food on your table, and you've got a roof over your head and clothes on your back and water in your pitcher and your phone that you're using and all of these different gifts that you are paying for. Do you look at money like that? Or do you look at it like, oh my God, there's still not enough in there. I can't believe how tight things are. Oh boy. Or do you look at it that way? Why can't it be both? Because the more you can practice your mindset shifts, as small as they might be, that's going to help you increase your feelings of vibration. So think of a new story that you're going to be telling yourself. Think about how wonderful your job is and write down your reasons why. Think of how wonderful your business is and think about all of the reasons why. Think of how wonderful your husband is and think of all of the reasons why. There is no interfering when you're trying to work on upgrading your vibration. You're going to be attracting more of the things that make you feel good. You're going to understand that the highs and lows of life happen and accept it. And you're going to work on a new story for yourself, one that your future self wants, because you're being tested right now. You're being asked to step into divine feminine energy, or at the very least own the masculine that you're doing. But you won't receive until you're ready to just be in the moment. You won't receive until you put your feet up, play some music, smell the flowers, host a dinner party. I'm looking at my vision board right now and I'm feeling so inspired. I'm like, okay, these are the things I need to be doing. And there is a bike on there and there's a lady climbing mountains. And this is what your vision board is for, my friends. Okay. Yeah, today got a little bit different, didn't it? But here's the thing. There's billions of possibilities to discover. and to learn more. Because this is your amazing life, and it starts with accepting 100% who you are. Like I did last week, I owned all of this growth. So, couple things on Amazon. If you put in my name, you will be able to get my book, Your Story Matters, and I do offer a course as well. That's a 30-day action guide to get you through that planner or that workbook. And I am doing a free healthy eating on a budget. Ha! Let's try that again. Healthy eating on a budget workshop. I am going to put the details in here as well. You can pop into my link tree. You'll see it there. And let me know what you thought of today's episode. Episode 135, all of me. And have yourself an amazing week, my friends.